ignition. Alrighty. So what we're going to do here is a systems check. So up here you've got 2 fuel pumps, redundancy, so you can always run on one. So you turn one off. I look for a 5 to 7 psi drop on my gauge. It's good. Turn 2 off. Same thing. 2 comes back on. 2 ignitions. So for the 2 spark plugs in each cylinder, turn 1 off. Engine still runs. Turn 2 off. Engine still runs.
Runway 27.
FADAC computer. So I turn the primary is always number 1. I turn that off. And the engine changes noise because it's on the secondary now.
Okay.
The red light means the number 1 FADAC is not operating. And it's on secondary injectors. So that's why it runs rich, and that's why it goes down. So I can add a little bit of throttle to make sure it's running. I usually do it for about 30 seconds. Make sure those secondary injectors are working good. Then I turn 1 back on. Turn 2 off. Then it switches back to 1. 2 back on. 2 greens, this is any kind of error codes, this is for the FADAC, and then this is an engine out. Alrighty, and then we do our sprout clutch check, so I run it up to 100% on the rotor. See the engine on the right, the rotor on the left. Always want to keep it in the green when we're flying. Alright, so there's 100%. I mean, we can go all the way to 110 and no damage on the rotor, but just, you know, you got a little bit of a band there, and 100% usually gives you about 100. Okay. So you can do about 104%, and then the engine's not going to give you any more. You'll see it here when we hover. It's probably going to be right at 31 inches. Alright, and then we roll off the throttle nice and easy, and we're looking for a split. The engine comes down way faster than the rotor. Okay. That's what gives us our auto-rotational capability.
That separates them all.
Right, disengages it, the rotor spools down slower than the engine, and then what would happen is in the auto rotation I would lower the collective, we would get an upward inflow that keeps the rotor spinning,
yep.
And then at the bottom we would use that energy, flare, push in and land. And depending on how aggressive it is, you can do 0 ground run or a little bit of ground run where you slide on the skids. You know, if it was like landing on grass, I'd probably be more aggressive and come down with no airspeed, forward speed. Alright, you know how to work that? Can you reach it? There you go. So let's do the ATIS on 20.62. Be my co-pilot. Then you just pull it out to do the push it back in. And then I got a little flip-flop here. Alright.
Back all, hold, short instructions.
I'll just listen to the ATIS.
Advise owners contact that you have information Zulu.
Zulu.
Information Zulu, time 1447 Zulu, wind 240 at 5, visibility 7, sky condition scattered 2000, scattered 10,000, temperature 30, dew point 23, altimeter 299er.
2999 set. You can put in 18.9 per tower. Alrighty. We're on the right. We're on the left. We're going to do a hover power check. So I'm going to pretty much need all the power available. Alright. About right at 30, 30 and a half. Feels good. Gonna slide right.
Yeah.
Looking good on the right.
Clear.
Space Coast ground, helicopter 8006 Alpha.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha, Space Coast ground.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha is on the East T hangars, information Victor, like VFR departure to the north.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, runway 27, hover taxi via Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Alpha to runway 27, helicopter 8006 Alpha. Alright, so see where I was saying we get down to 97, kind of droops down, so I got to touch it down just a little bit to get it back up. It comes back up.
helicopter 06 Alpha, you want to contact tower once you enter Alpha taxiway. He's going to try and get you a departure there from Alpha.
Okay, will do. Helicopter 06 Alpha, thanks. Tower, helicopter 006 Alpha, Charlie Alpha intersection, ready for takeoff. If we can do a southbound departure and then come back around left or right to the north.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha, Space Tower at the intersection of Alpha and Charlie taxiway. Southbound is approved. Cleared for takeoff.
Okay, cleared Charlie Alpha, southbound departure, cleared for takeoff, helicopter 8006 Alpha, and you need a left or right turn to head north.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, left turn.
Left turn to the north on departure, helicopter 8006 Alpha, on the go. All right, T's and P's are good. We're going to creep forward. This is what's called a running takeoff. Once we get effective translational lift, clean air, we can start offloading the system a little bit. We get 100% on the RPM and we take off. Once you're up in the air, no problems. It's just that hovering. We fly for a little bit, we'll get lighter, and we won't have any issues. But that's what I tell people on this helicopter. You really have to manage your power.
Yep.
And you might have to touch down and skid a little bit, but it works.
Right.
And she climbs pretty good, about 65 miles per hour, so we'll speed it up just a little bit and we'll make our left turn. Once we're at a comfortable altitude, clear left, here we go. You'll notice the turbulence ride on this thing is a little bit different than what you're used to.
Right.
You know, it rides the bumps a lot better, I feel, than a traditional airplane.
F5820, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved. G'day. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Not a bad day. You can see the visitor complex, vehicle assembly building, everything looks good.
Yeah.
Feels nice and cool up here in the shade. Miles per hour. I can start rolling back on the throttle just a tad. We'll level off at 1,000 feet and we'll be good to go.
When you level off at 1,000, you're lower to the collective. Not going to power.
Barely. When I say lower it, it's like a millimeter.
Okay.
Like just a little bit, like a squeeze almost. And then we cruise at about 26 to 25, gives us anywhere.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, frequency change is approved. Have a good day.
Frequency change approved, helicopter 06 Alpha, talk to you soon. Yeah, so, you know, since I brought their tower controller I took them for a ride and got some pizza. They give me like present position departure there and give me the special handling now.
Nice.
They're like, yeah, we're not going to make you go all the way to that runway 27. Take care of you. So yeah, this is it, man. This is what it's all about. You're up here cruising along, having a good time, 1,000 feet, because there's plenty of opportunities. I could land right in the road there in the middle, any of these open fields, but it's pretty much right below you is what happens, is where you're at. So, like I said, I'm always thinking about where I'm going to go down. I know as an airplane fixed-wing pilot, you think the same thing, but you got a little bit more time than you do. So what you can do here is tune up 23 nothing, which is Arthur Dunn. Put that in standby, and then you might have to loosen the shoulder harness. Good thing is with the iPad now and ForeFlight, I've got traffic information for anybody with ADS-B. I can see them on here. Yep. And then it's a matter of monitoring water temperature, oil temperature. Summertime it runs a little bit higher in the green, right at the almost in the amber, but it's less than 210. I'm happy with that. Oil pressure is very important. You know, so if any of these kind of get excessive, you know, we put it down somewhere and figure out what the issue is. Yep. mess around, not trying to limp back home. I got a trailer. If I land on the side of US 1 somewhere, I can take the blades off and bring it back home.
Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That string tells you...
Yes, it's our trim string, right? So as long as that's fairly lined up with our black, I know. I usually just do it by feel. Okay. I got more left pedal. I know you got more wind coming on your side. Here's neutral pedal. That's pretty much right where we need to be. But it varies depending on the torque and the weight. All right. So now we've got Arthur Dunn radios up on the frequency. We give our little position call as we get a little closer. Arthur Dunn traffic, helicopter 8006 Alpha is about 3.5 miles to the south, northbound US 1, transitioning at 1,000 feet, Arthur Dunn. And so when you have the wind like that, it's a weather vane effect. That's why the aircraft goes left and right like that. Okay. That's why I say it's a little bit different in the turbulence than what you're probably used to. Right. Because you're probably used to kind of that vertical, and this thing kind of just almost yaws left and right a little bit as the airflow goes through the rotor system. Today's actually not a bad day. Very cool.
Get that. You try to correct for that, or just let
Nope. You let it ride right through it. So if you want, I'll let you go ahead and put your right hand lightly on the stick there and just feel what I'm doing. So we got a little bit of high, so I'm going to pitch the nose down. I'm not even messing with power now. And then you can feel all the little movements I'll do. So I got us on a little bit, 200 foot per minute descent. Looking outside, predominantly this is VFR. You're looking outside, level horizon. Once you get the altitude you want, you just kind of do a scan and you find that. Like for this helicopter level flight, if you imagine your fist, one fist above the horizon is where your rotor disc is about level flight. You imagine that, because you're kind of flying everything off the disc, right? So a little bit of slight right turn, you can see how it kind of slices a little bit. Yep. And then you're just doing a kind of a scan on your instruments. So just follow along for a while, feel what I do. You know, as we hit any air pockets, I got to add a little bit of forward stick. Keep an eye out for birds, airplanes. Yep.
Ever hit a bird with a rotor?
Oh God, no. That'd be really bad. It would definitely do some damage to the rotor system. Yeah.
Amazing how high they fly too, you know?
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, I've seen them up several thousand feet, birds flying, so. Yep. All right, just following US 1, and then we'll go by the train tracks. We'll follow that. Arthur Dunn traffic, helicopter 8006 Alpha, 1,000 feet, just due east of the airfield over US 1, 1,000, transitioning to the north, Arthur Dunn.
A lot of input on this.
What's that?
There is a lot of input.
Oh yeah. So it doesn't take much. I mean, it's little control inputs. But you get a little bit of a bubble, then you see you got to kind of push forward. But the problem that you'll find with guys that are first learning how to fly helicopters is they over-control. And you don't want to over-control in a helicopter. So you'll see a helicopter instructor is very, very close to the controls at all times. Because, you know, one over-control and that's it, you know. Right. Start doing some bad stuff to your rotor system. But, you know, you tell everything is like pressure, counter-pressure, nice and smooth, and cognizant of what you're doing. This is Chain of Lakes down here. A nice little trail. Okay. And I try avoiding flying over the water directly. If I want to go over to Merritt Island, I try to go over a bridge or something that, you know, that's just me paranoid because, you know, at 1,000 feet, that distance, I can't glide to land.
Right.
So unless I have like a inflatable vest or something, I was thinking about buying one of those off Amazon, you know, just in case I do want to go over the water a little bit.
Right, right.
That, you know, if I have to go down in the water, at least I got a life preserver on me.
Yep, yep.
But all those things you think about when you're flying, you know.
Sure.
This is pretty much it. You see like 70, 80 miles per hour, depends on what it wants to do, and we're going over the ground at 70 knots, you know, so that's nothing. I mean, your 150 cruises at 90, so you'd be doing 20 knots faster than me.
It's still fun, though.
Oh, yeah, it's
different.
It's all about the experience.
Yep.
See if I can get a swig of water here. That's the challenge, flying one hand with the opposite hand. Got it. Yeah, I've been flying helicopters for the Army. I had been flying. I had about 1,000 hours in the Army flying. I got to fly for a good six-year period, and then kind of got pushed to a desk job in the National Guard. So this is something here I've been wanting for a long time, like 20 years to have my own helicopter, and only recently being able to realize that. Nice. And as you know, the freedom of general aviation is phenomenal. Just to be able to do what you want to do, go where you want to go. Absolutely. And so I've gone. There's several owners here in Florida. And they have a gathering up in Lake City, Florida, once or twice a year. So I went to one of the gatherings in March, and that was phenomenal. We had 6 helicopters in a formation. We flew to a barbecue place about 20 minutes away, landed in the grass. We went out and had barbecue, camaraderie, friendship, all the good stuff. Nice. You know, just, it's like-minded guys, you know.
Always fun.
All right, here. You're going to make a left turn, looking left, clear. So you can see it was just a pressure. That's all I had to do is start the left turn, neutralize it, looking out of the horizon. In this case, my rotor's not really even slicing much into the horizon there.
Right.
I would say this is maybe a 10, 15 degree left turn. Back to the right. What you got?
Couple birds.
And sight. Good eyes.
Different flying without doors, too.
Oh yeah. I got the doors to put on, but summertime, forget it. This is a freaking greenhouse. And then with all this shade today, I mean, oh my God, it's a phenomenal day to fly. No wind. Temperature, what you got?
No, nothing. I saw no bird.
Oh, okay. No worries. Definitely call it out as you see it. Yep. There's one there. The danger about these birds, they ride the thermals. And they like to dive down into you.
Oh, no way, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So there's a thermal right there. They're riding it because they're orbiting.
Yeah. Huh. Sounds like they're chasing you.
Start working our way back southbound. I took this up probably about 3-4 weeks ago. We went up to Spruce Creek, me and my buddy Al, that I share the hangar with, and so you know, that's like 35 minutes up there. It's the same driving, going up 95. So that was fun to go fly in there because that's the big flying community, and I got another JetBlue pilot that lives there.
Oh, no good. Yeah.
So we flew up there, had breakfast, turned around, came back. Right, one of those little fun adventures.
So if you have like, if you're planning to go to a restaurant, even though it's a private airstrip, you can land there?
Yeah, as long as you're a guest, somebody's guest.
Oh, okay.
So what happens is, I mean, it's not like there's like the guest police, but when you land there, you're supposed to have a sign that says, hey, visiting aircraft, visiting X amount pilot, there's the surge arrest phone number. Yep. Sometimes that place does get packed, and, you know, it's just a kind of to manage the flow of traffic there. Yep. But, you know, it's all untowered, so everybody's free-for-all talking on the Common Traffic Advisory. Arthur Dunn traffic, helicopter 8006 Alpha, 1,000 feet, just over US 1, flying southbound, transitioning south, Arthur Dunn. All right, tune in 12062 again. And we'll get the ATIS. I don't think it's changed. Just pull on the knob to get that. There you go. One more. Got it. I'll flop it over.
600. Use caution for bird activity in the vicinity of the airfield. Read back all hold, short instructions, and runway assignments. Advise others contact that you have information. Zulu.
Zulu it is. All right. So go ahead and put 18.9 back in. Yeah, so we still got about 15 minutes on that ATIS, so we're good. Got one bird up there. Yep. Getting a little bit of a thermal. Off Space Coast Tower. Winds are 240 at 5. Space Coast Tower, helicopter 8006 Alpha.
8006 Alpha, Space Coast Tower.
Helicopter 8006 Alpha is approximately 6 miles to the north over US 1, information Victor for full stop landing.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, roger. Report 1 mile north of the airport. Do you have any preference on where you'd like to land, sir?
Yeah, if we could do another approach to Alpha Charlie intersection, that would work for us, helicopter 06 Alpha.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, roger. Again, report 1 mile north of the airport, altimeter is 299er, and I'll advise at that time. I'm sure ground control won't mind.
Okay, I'll advise you 1 mile north of the airfield, and then we'll go from there. Helicopter 06 Alpha, 2999 on the meter. Yeah, I think that's Dave. I met him. Dave, Kim, Lou, Andrew. I've met a bunch of them up there. Really cool guys. And gals. Gals, yeah. 2.5 gallons almost burned.
It's Tower 4338, I'm on my circle. 4338, roger that, sir.
That's the same area we hit before. Like they kind of, those thermals, you can tell they kind of stay in the same spots. So they just get so attuned to how your aircraft flies over time, you know, like, ah, yeah, that feels different.
Yeah.
Alright, so I took maybe an inch manifold pressure out just to kind of initiate a descent, 25, 24. Doesn't take much.
And say sub 4338, I'm good here, I'm going to depart to the west. 4338, roger, have a safe flight, sir. Thank you, and thanks for the help.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, about 1 mile north of the airfield.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, taxiway Alpha Charlie intersection, cleared to land.
Alpha Charlie intersection cleared to land. Helicopter 06 Alpha, thanks. So straight in, that's good.
Nice.
Alright, looks like we got some vehicles in the grass. As we transition over to the airport property, I'll put the helicopter pretty much on top of the taxiway. If anything happens, we can just do an auto right down to the taxiway.
Alrighty.
Cognizant of our winds, knowing that we're going to have a little bit of a right forward quartering crosswind, not a big deal. Always want to land into the wind.
Is there a height limit that you can't auto-rotate at?
Well, as long as we got forward airspeed, you can actually trade that airspeed to maintain altitude for a certain period of time. So there is like a height velocity diagram. You know, you don't want to be hovering at 100 feet. You just want to be able to get your energy back.
Yep.
But so as long as you're maintaining forward airspeed on your approaches, you know, you can be less than 100 feet, 50, 60 miles an hour and still auto-rotate safely.
Oh, nice.
But like I said, it's all awareness, you're planning. Just prepared for anything, you know?
Or training.
There's training, yeah, it is. Proficiency and training. So I do practice auto rotations here from time to time, usually when I'm by myself.
Is it rough on the helicopter?
No,
No?
no, not at all. to the guys.
Helicopter 06 Alpha, after landing, hover taxi to park and have a good day.
Hover taxi to parking with you. Helicopter 06 Alpha, talk to you later. There you go, free and clear the controls. So we're going to have to probably set it down. We're getting a little low. There we go, come on, come back. This is what's called milking it. I'm kind of lowering it, letting it touch down.
Helicopter 1525 Foxtrot.
Tail's clear on the left. Put her back into the wind.
1525 Foxtrot.
25 Foxtrot, where runway 18 is now in use.
Roger.
And then get it back, see?
Runway 18.
But somebody that's, that's something you have to train for and realize, because you can quickly lose tail rotor authority fast if you don't have 100%. Because I almost got full pedal in, that right pedal I was talking about.
Okay.
So what I'll have you do is we're going to do a little bit of hover practice here.
Okay.
So you can worry about the pedals right now. I do one control at a time when I teach somebody. So go ahead and put your feet on the pedals lightly and feel what I do. All right? So you can feel the pressures. Here's a little bit of just right pressure. And then I relax that pressure and let the nose come back to the left. This is about the rate that you would want to do a pedal turn. Okay. Power pedal is the right pedal. That's the one that demands more power from the engine, the turn. All right. So I'm going to let you go ahead and manipulate it. I want you to bring the nose back to the left. Go ahead and push the right pedal. Now bring the right pedal in and push the nose back to the right. A little bit more now. Okay, you have the pedals. Okay. You're doing all the work.
All right.
All right, point it towards that Alpha Charlie sign on your 1 o'clock. That's it. Pressure, counter pressure. You got it. So the nose is pointing at it. I've got the power. All you got to worry about is the pedals. There you go. Just point it. Do what you got to do to maintain it. As long as we got 100% rotor, we don't have any issues. And as you develop your technique over time, you won't have to make as many power changes because as you add right pedal, you lose a little bit of rotor RPM because you're taking power away from the system. Okay? So the more smoother you are, the less power changes you have to do. Good. Now slowly relax the right pedal and let the nose come back to the left and point it to the taxi sign that's on our 12 o'clock.
Space to tower, runway 18.
All right, good. You hold that. Now let it point towards the windsock now, so let it drift to the left. We're almost completely into the wind here, so that'll be good. You see the windsock in the distance, point it towards that. Very good. So the pedals are good. I have all controls.
Okay, you have the control.
Slide it back over here. So you can go slide backwards, left to right. You can do whatever you want to have it, right? So we're having it backwards right now. Okay. So this is the one that takes the most finesse, is the cyclic, which is the stick in the middle.
Okay.
So most important thing is we've got to get back to 100%. Touchdown. 100%. Bring it back up. Okay. So go ahead and put your right hand in your lap. Get relaxed grip on there. And we're going to talk about the control inputs here. So all I have to do is I say I have control and then you just relax, okay?
Yep.
So you can feel my inputs. Small inputs. I'm looking out further away. Right now I have a reference point of that black taxi sign. And you're looking out and in towards the, closer to the aircraft to judge your drift, left and right. and then you make the appropriate inputs as required to keep the aircraft level and in the position that you want. All right, I got to get the rotor RPM back up. Going to touch. Back up. There you go. All right, so with that said, let me get you set up for success. We're going to point it into the wind because we got a little bit of a crosswind going on.
No, I did.
All right. I can see what the windsock's doing. We'll have better performance in the wind. I'll give you a little bit more space to move. I'm going to slide to the back a little bit.
95. Expect a right downwind entry for runway 18.
All right, here we go. All right, you start making the corrections now. I'm with you. Drifting back, forward pressure. Right there. That's it.
Cessna 44 Whiskey, traffic is inbound from the
Obviously a little too much to the right, but that's okay.
Interstate 95. Where are you headed today?
Okay, I have
We're
control.
going to the
Get a rotor back?
area, actually, but we can stay towards the east bank of the, or the west bank of the river if you'd like. 4 Whiskey.
4 Whiskey just continues
There we go.
from your present position, and I'll
All right, you can take control again.
All right, that aircraft.
You're having the tendency to drift to the right, which is okay. Now you've got the golf cart to use as a reference. Forward stick a little bit, and take it out. You notice you'll find the center, and then you always kind of return to center.
Okay, yeah. I can see how
And then you take out what you just did.
induced much, you know.
Oh yeah. There you go. You're working it. Not too much, but that's okay. I got control.
All right, you got it.
Get you stabilized again and come back. So the biggest thing is don't stir the pot. So guys have the tendency they want to do this, and they're controlling, and the control. The problem is you're on a pendulum.
Right.
Those controls take a little bit of time. So I'm kind of anticipating what I need to do ahead of time. Got to get a rotor back. 100%, and we're back up. Okay. Just an easy technique to learn there, but that's what gets people in trouble. All right, you're doing it. That's it. And you're relaxing. That's it.
Cessna 44 Whiskey, you can
Anticipate what the helicopter's going to do next and make your small inputs.
Good day.
Right there on course, quick change approved. 4 Whiskey, thanks for talking about it.
Good. All right, I have control.
All right, 9-1 golf. Report midfield right down on runway 18.
All right,
Report midfield.
goes coming to the left.
Cessna 901 Delta.
Milk it back. There we go. Take a look on the right there. All right, let's point back towards here. All right, go ahead and hop on the controls.
All right, I have
You've
it.
got that. And you got the nice yellow taxi line in the center of the body. You can kind of try to keep the aircraft over that line. All right, I have control.
You got it?
Get a rotor back.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, come back on the controls.
Got it?
You have control. All right, I have control.
Yep, you got it.
Set it back down. 100% and back up. All right, we're going to come back. All right, drift back here. Everything is looking good. Temperatures, we're right in the yellow arc, but we're still good. And as we keep burning fuel off, it'll even get better and better. But, okay, I have all the controls. I was going to show you something here, what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Hovering and ground effect. So, right now we're 31 inches. So I'm going to pull collective. And as we get out of ground effect, I got 100% throttle. 31 inches, or 30 and a half now. She droops. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
She can't handle out of ground effect hover right now because she just doesn't have the power reserve.
Okay.
So guys think, oh, you can just pull up and go vertical takeoff and get out, you know, take off. Not with this engine right now, the way the performance is, especially during the summertime, density, altitude, and our weight. you know, we're just at max gross weight. We were probably maybe even a couple pounds over max gross weight. So just understanding that power management is important.
Right. Now, when you go into that transitional lift, that's
November 91 Golf D1.
Right, so your rotor is working in undisturbed clean air.
Full stop,
okay, right.
Taxi back.
And you can fly.
So this is really dirty.
91 Golf.
Right, because it's recirculating that air. You're still in that cushion there,
Right.
but you've got those rotor tip vortices, as we call them, compared to wingtip vortices in an airplane. So we're working in kind of recycled air here. We don't have as much lifting surface. So, but when you in forward flight, you're using less power, less drag, less power is required to fly in forward flight.
Okay.
So we can still do that running takeoff. We just can't do a vertical hovering takeoff or climbing, you know, vertical towering takeoff as it's called.
Right, right. Now, like a helicopter, like a Bell Ranger would be able to?
Oh yeah. Turbine-powered helicopters, you know, Blackhawks with 2 turbine-powered engines. We'll slide back to the right. Give you a little bit more time there on the stick. Pointing directly into the wind or windsock. And you have control.
I have
a forward stick, that's it. All right, you're working it. There you go, correcting. Yep, you're stirring the pot, but that's okay. You're learning. All right, I have control.
You have the control.
Get our rotor back.
That's awesome.
And we're back up. All right, sliding it back to the right, and you have control.
All right, I have the control.
I have control.
Got it.
All right, come back.
All right.
You have control.
I have it.
I have control. Get a rotor back. Touchdown. There we go. Come back on the stick, and you have control again.
I have it.
November 91 Golf, turn that to Alpha 2, taxiway, contact ground .85.
I have control.
November 91 Golf, roger, ground 121.85.
Right.
Ground 121.85.
Go ahead and set it down. We're at 6.2. Set it down into the wind. And I did have some throttle. I'm just curious how much throttle we're using there. I know it's 100% just by the feel, but I've got a throttle position sensor here. It's 25 now. As we pull in power, it's got a little bit of a correlator too on a spring, so it adds power as I add collective as well.
Okay.
And I have to twist on the power as well, so that's 100%. Lift it up. Yep, 98, 97, 95. So yep, we're running pretty much 90% throttle available. So, you know, that tells you right there, that's an indication of, yeah, you're pretty much pulling everything she's got, 30.5 inches for today.
Yep.
So, yeah. Which is not a big deal.
It flies good.
Yeah, no, she's very smooth. Yeah. So I'll demonstrate some pedal turns here. Clear on the right, tail's clear on the left. We got nice calm winds. As the tail goes into the wind, that's the most dangerous here because it has a tendency to kick the tail up.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you end up your nose down. You know, if you have more than like a 10 knot tailwind, it can get a little bit squirrely.
Oh, okay.
So 100% throttle, we got to touch it down. Once you learn that technique, not a problem.
Yep, ever.
And then, yeah, so we got up to like 104 there, so, you know, it came right back. But, yeah, I'd say if you let it get below 97%, 96, you'll start losing tail rotor authority. The nose will start doing one of these where it starts going off to the left and it starts increasing.
Right.
That's a loss of tail rotor effectiveness. And then you just got to set it down at that point. But gingerly, not aggressively hard. Just, you know, get it down.
Yep.
Yeah, for example, if it's doing this, turning to the left and I can't control it, I just set it down until a skid touches. Danger is a dynamic rollover where you catch a skid and the helicopter starts rolling over.
Right, right.
So you just put it down nice and easy, nice and level. Do what you got to do.
Yep.
The whole thing with this thing is finesse. As I bump around here, get 100%, right pedal, throttles in, back to the right. And as you get back into the wind, I can use less. You know, right now that's 60% on the throttle I'm using versus 90. So, alrighty, so that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll shut it down. We'll do the same thing. We'll do the Chinese fire drill, shut it down, move the weight, and then I'll put it back on the dolly.
Alrighty.
And I can actually move it more into the wind now. Alright, center my controls, roll my throttle off. Alright. Should be able to talk a little bit better now. I can turn the squelch down.